And this is Bottoms of the Barrel Showcase at Shakers! Shakers is located at 3160 North Clark in Chicago, right off the Clark and Belmont. The Belmont red line, brown line, purple line stop. We're in the middle, close to Boys Town, close to Wrigleyville, and blessedly it's cold, so we don't have to deal with any of those people.
Yes!
I'm your host, Thomas Bottoms, and once a month we record this show, and it's aired on my radio show, Bottoms of the Barrel, on Q4 Radio, AM 1680, Q4.org. A show with no budget, no future, no morals. We're aiming low for success. Someone asked me how low was the show aired, and they said yes, and I said, see? We aimed low, we succeeded. I'm going to be your trashy host. Behind the bar, we have the owner of Shakers, Jason. Give Jason a round of applause. And every Tuesday here, they've got $3 domestic bottles, $4 well drinks, and $4
Jaeger.
Firebomb or Jaeger shots. Those are two different things, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'd hate to think people are now merging Jaeger and firebombs, and that would just be cinnamon sour. I don't know what straight people drink. We're amongst straight people. I don't know. That was offensive, and I apologize.
It happens.
I feel I have to apologize for a lot lately. I'm kind of concerned. I am really unsure if, oh wow, you do that well is a sign of consent. Too soon, too dark. We're aiming low for success here, people. I do fear that at some point life will Paula Deen me. I don't like to admit this, but I think at some point in my life I've said the N-word because I like to sing along to music, and I grew up in the 90s listening to R&B and hip-hop. Like there's an Adina Howard track where she has some wisdom. As I lie here smoking on a blunt, the situation is getting blurrier and blurrier. That's some good 420, I can't lie. Mm-hmm. The title of the song is You Can Be My N-Word. I am unsure how I sang that song. I really am. I do want to say I have never referred to anybody by the N-word, but I am one... Yes!
Hooray!
I am one of, I think, 3 people who owns dog food by the Dog Pound. That's 5 words, 3 of them are misspelled, but I still file under D. Because there's a rapper, it's Corrupt, and that N-word Daz. And I'm not sure I always refer to him as that N-word Daz. There are 2 good songs on it. It's the We All F and Bomb As and Our President Grabs Ruined by them. That's 6 words, 2 of them are misspelled. It did teach me how women apparently climax. They just sort of moan, going, oh, my kitty, oh. Women are looking at me with side eye, so apparently that is not true. I don't think I ever called anyone the N-word. I do know I one time got close. This gentleman said that, oh baby, I can go an hour. At some point, I had to realize that at best I'm Tina Marie, I am not Jasmine Guy, and I had to look over my shoulder and pause and say, you owe me 58 more minutes. Okay, I'm the only one who's ever been there. So we're setting the bar low. As you can tell in this show, we are not allowed to say offensive words, but we can be as filthy as we want to. Because I used to work in a sex shop in Boys Town. Don't call me a retail clerk, I'm an underpaid sex therapist. I can upsell lube. And if people were doing it right, there'd be no Lifetime or Oprah. I learned that there's a toy that is about as thick as my thigh and about as long as my shin. It was called the Great American Challenge. I support the troops, but I have my limits. My underwear choices will always be boxers or briefs, never depends. And then there was the vibro ring, which I definitely recommended to heterosexual couples, because men, they kind of own a remote control. You can hit any button and trust me, you'll get a reaction. It's a remote control. It may not be the reaction you want, but I've dealt with enough technology that sometimes mute is fine. Because women are a little bit more complex. They have a toggle button, if you will, like a joystick, a little toggle button. And what you would do with the vibro ring is you would put it around the remote control, and thus it would hit the woman's toggle button, which we all know is outside the body. I can understand why back in the day there was some confusion. Like in the 70s, there was a lot of shag carpeting. We're now in the 2010s. Everyone has hardwood floors. Like back in the day when everyone went safari, they would have to chop through the Serengeti. You know, with techniques nowadays, it's the Sahara. It's right there. I don't know why they can't find the toggle button. It's like, you know, I can get it when back in the past it was like going on a globe and trying to find Hawaii. It's like it's somewhere in the Pacific. Now it's trying to find the United States on a map of the United States. It's just right there. I'm a gay man. Why do I know where the toggle button is? There's been a lot of people speaking about our president.
No.
A couple months ago when province of the United States got wiped out by a hurricane, he threw some paper towels at them. Considering what happened to Hawaii over the weekend, I would not be upset if people threw toilet paper at them. I would request a roll of toilet paper if I was told there was a bomb coming towards my home and seek shelter immediately. And why did I think that was funny? Now, we're going to go ahead and bring up our first comedian. Everyone, you get 8 to 10 minutes. I'm sitting right there. I'm going to light you. Try not to say bad words, but if you do, just play it off like Sam Rockwell on SNL. Yes, someone watched that. Okay, good. Our first comedian of the night, he is a gentleman who is also a member of the Q4 family. He has launched a music show on Fridays from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Time, and that's on Q4.org. I've known this man for a very long time. He's given up the drink, but won't give up the funny. Give a round of applause for Bob Rock!
Keep it going for Thomas.
Yeah!
I don't think I've ever had my comedy on the radio. That's exciting. Reading Devil in the White City right now.
Woo!
It's a very popular book. It's so popular though, I already know the ending. Rahm Emanuel becomes mayor. He closed 54 schools and then he went skiing the next day. Who does that? The villain in a movie where Santa Claus is the main character? I gotta give it to him though. It's a career path, you know? Like, as racist as he is, he's like the third least racist person that's had that job in the last 20 years. He's like a male stripper that's really good at math. He could have been a great chess player, for example. That's another path in life. Chess! The only problem is, of course, that if you get really good at chess, you end up homeless in the park. So I'm watching a lot of movies from the 1950s and 60s. I don't know about you guys, But white people used to like to rip random pieces of paper out of the phone book. Also be really mean to blacks and Latinos for no reason. That does really good in places with less white people. So, in order to stay good at comedy, guys, you gotta come up with characters. Young comedians, you gotta come up with characters. And that's why I've come up with the character Adam Lansky. He's the actor who auditions for parts he'll never get. Adam Lansky.
Hello, my name is Adam Lansky. I'm 5'6". I weigh 175 pounds. And today I'm here to audition for the part of El Chapo in El Chapo 2, El Chapo's Revenge, and Scene. You think you're gonna double-cross El Chapo? Well, I got some bad news for you, compadre. You're in agua muy caliente. Don't mess with El Chapo, because I grew up on the main streets of Mexico, and I've learned a thing or two about drug cartelling and avoiding going to jail for crime. Again, my name is Adam Lansky. 5'6", I weigh 175 pounds. Today, I'll be reading for the part of Stifler in American Pie 7. The Crip sings. Look, Preppy, I didn't get a job at an all-hot girl car wash to play second fiddle to some nerd. This summer is about 3 things: blunts, broads, and brews. So you better believe we's about to get real nasty. Again, my name is Adam Lansky, 46 years old, I'm 5'6" tall, I weigh 175 pounds, and I'll be reading for Jedi number 3 in the next Star Wars movie. Look, I'm just maybe a Jedi that's also a garbage man, but I know a thing or two about sanitation. So back up, or you're going to get cut by my lightsaber of rock and roll. Again, my name is Adam Lansky, 46 years old. I am 5'6" tall. I weigh 175 pounds. Thank you. So, that's all it takes, guys. Just characters. This next character is my dad. Why don't you just get a real fucking job? Just get a real job. I own a home. I own 2 homes in 2 countries. Get a real job! That was my dad. I am afraid more than ever now of being deported. I grew up in the Midwest, and it would suck to get deported back to Mexico. Mostly because I'd have to learn Spanish. I think I'd land on my feet though. I'd just go into drug cartelling. Couldn't do anything dangerous though. I'd just work in the HR department. Alright guys, if you're gonna cook meth, popcorn, or fish in the kitchen microwave, please clean up after yourself. That's a shared space. Also, I'd like to see a couple more names at the old cocaine bake sale. That's this weekend, guys. I want to see people submitting treats, and I want those treats to be full of drugs. Alright, read the signs. I put them all over the break room. Also, this is just a thing. Remember to punch in. Look, we pay you to sell drugs on the street. We want you to get paid, but one thing I don't want to do is fixing people's hours all weekend. I'm looking at you, Julio. Alright? Punch in. Also, please save your receipts. Alright? You get a per diem. You murder for this cartel, but right now you're murdering my labor budget. Alright, guys? Alright, let's get some cocaine in those bacon treats, and we'll see you all again real soon. I've been Bob Rock. Good night.
Bob Rock, everybody. Hablo español poquito. necesito muchos problemas con vocabulario. Estoy cansado de vender mi cuerpo por dinero por drogas. ¿Entiendes? Más o menos, sí, ¿verdad? Porque novios pasados eran latinos, pero no otros. ¿Sí, verdad? Okay. Now we're getting that one past the censors. Our next comedian. The next comedian, I've worked with him off and on over the past couple of years. He's been on a guest on my radio show. He's filmed a skit with, I swear to God, it's going to come back and haunt us. His lovely girlfriend Sandra's in the house. I feel so bad because I always forget your name. I don't know. Give a round of applause for Zachary Zajac, the Triple Z!
Round of applause for Thomas Bottoms.
Yeah!
It's good to be here in civilization. I recently did a show in West Chicago because apparently my self-esteem was just way too high at the time. And I needed to hear a room full of people go, "Why is the hipster Jack Black using big words at me?" Now, if you've never been to West Chicago, it's exactly like the city of Chicago, except not at all. It's the kind of place where the closest thing they have to an art gallery is a place called Arts Discount RV Emporium. And they treat it exactly the same. I'm never an art fan. I love that guy. I'm an art critic. He needs to take a shower. The show itself did not go well, which was a surprise to me, because I went into it with the best attitude. As you can tell. Art's RV joke, that went great here. The set itself went a bit like the Armenian genocide. It definitely happened. But nobody wants to talk about it. So after the show, I'm sitting around with a couple of my comedian friends and we're talking. Well, I say talking, we're waiting for our turn to talk at each other. Because you know we're comedians. And this older woman walks up to us and she says, "Thank God you guys came. Because we ain't got nothing here like this. All we got here is Mexicans. And all they do is don't speak English and eat sushi." Which is the kind of racism that raises more questions than it answers. Questions like, do you know what the word Mexican means? Or do you think it's just like a general term for people outside of the United States? These gosh darn Mexicans coming over here from Sweden? They're taking our jobs, stealing our women, and eating all our spicy tuna rolls! I was recently driving to Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin, because I live a life of adventure. If you want to go to Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin, here are the driving directions. Go north until you become an extra in the movie Deliverance. I was going there to visit family because I had not booked a set that week and needed to beg abusive drunks for approval some other way. Too dark for a lot of the people around there. It's cool. So I'm driving along and I see a billboard that looks like a Dunkin' Donuts ad. It has the color scheme of a Dunkin' Donuts ad. It has the font of a Dunkin' Donuts ad. But it is not a Dunkin' Donuts ad. It does not say Dunkin' Donuts at things. But what it does say is, "Abortion kills human life." And I thought, who's that for? Because I've met a couple women in my time, and neither of them have ever told me, "You know what I love more than my bodily autonomy? $1 iced coffees between the hours of 2 and 6!
Yes!
That joke was brought to you by Starbucks. Starbucks. Because poorly thought out pro-life propaganda runs on Dunkin'. My girlfriend and I recently took a bunch of kids to the Field Museum because we're good at dating. Hey baby, it's Saturday night. You want to take a bunch of small people that we did not make to a place they do not want to be? That's what I thought. So, yeah, I should note that that we did know the children. They weren't just a bunch of randos. They were her cousin's kids. We didn't just pull up to a playground like a demented Miss Frizzle. Hey kids, jump in the magic! Window is fake! So we get there, the first thing we do is walk through the Hall of Animals. Now I don't actually remember if that's what it's called, but it's a pretty apt description of what it is. It's a hallway filled with taxidermied animals in their natural habitat. Glass cases painted to look like the Pacific Northwest. So we're walking along, and the youngest, 4-year-old boy named PJ, who you know is a 4-year-old boy, because his name is PJ. You don't meet a lot of adults named after sleepwear. And if you do, it's very disconcerting. I am I'm here to interview for the chemical engineer position. Oh, my name? Adult Onesie Jones. So he's having the time of his life because he's 4, and he has yet to learn that nature is his enemy and should be destroyed at all costs. And he's running around, and he's pointing at animals, and he's yelling their names like, "Look, there's a bear! Look, there's a squirrel! Look, there's another squirrel!" Then he turns to me and goes, "Zach, why aren't they moving?" So I turn to him like the truth teller I am. And I say, "That's because they're dead, buddy." To which PJ responds by having a goddamn nervous breakdown. Like he's still running around and yelling, but the tone is decidedly different. And it's, why? And that's the story of how I made a serial killer. Thank you guys for listening. I was beautiful audience. It was no birthday!
Zach Zajac, everybody, give him a round of applause. Now, Zach, I do have to ask for you and Sandra.
Okay.
Did this trip to the Field Museum with Children's, has it delayed plans for you to make your own little nestle of joys? That wasn't a finger, that was 2 fingers. It's like I'm gonna go smoke. Oh, snip. Okay, snipping is going to occur, and at this point we need to know if the ACA covers that, or will Sandra be taking matters into her own hands? We're just going to keep this train rolling. Bringing up our next comedian. This is the first time I've been made aware of him. He Facebook friended me today. He's performing. He was referred by the gentleman following him. Give a round of applause for Hari Rao.
Yeah!
Thank you. All right, well, we're just a couple weeks into the new year. Woo! Hope everybody's sticking with their New Year's goals. I know I have a few of mine. For example, for 2018, I decided I'm finally going to quit the gym. I haven't been there in 6 months, yet I keep paying for that membership. This is clearly not working out, so for 2018, no more lazy excuses for not quitting the gym. Just going to have to be tough, march right on in there, and find the strength to give up. Does anyone know where I can get tough and strong? Anyone know where I can get tough and strong? I'm also trying to watch my health because I'm 41 years old now, which means I'm not old, but I am old enough to start worrying about kids these days. I gotta tell you, I've been thinking lately, the kids these days have it too easy. They do. Well, in my day, I used to have to walk 3 miles each way in the rain, sleet, and snow to get my porn. These kids have it way too easy these days. Way too easy these days. Trying to also watch what I eat, because if science has taught me anything, it's that if you don't eat healthy, you will die. You'll die, so I'm trying to eat healthier. It's not that I don't like healthy food. It's just that I don't like shopping for food. I feel like we have too many choices. I wish we could all just agree on like 5 things to eat to sustain our existence. Like they do at Aldi. Like they do at Aldi, by my place, they're really trying to step up their fresh game. They on the outside, they have all these advertisements for, let's say, organic and sustainable and gluten-free. But on the inside, there's really only 5 things that are like that. The rest is all just the same old stuff. So I have a hard time getting the motivation to go shop. I tend to put off grocery shopping till I have like 2 things left, and I get hungry and I open my fridge and I reach for something to eat, and it says best before December 10th, 2017. And I think, who am I to require only the best of anything anyways? I'm not the Prince of Wales. I'm not the Sean Puffy Combs. I'm not Brian Urlacher. Do you guys know who Brian Urlacher is? He's a former Chicago Bear. He's a giant bald guy. And I didn't realize this, that Brian Urlacher has hair now. I didn't realize until about 1,000 billboards around the city. I thought that was supposed to be a discreet thing, right? You show up to work on Monday with this new hair, and your coworkers kind of look at you funny, and you say, "What the hell are you looking at, you racist?" And they say, "Oh, that's what's different. He's a jerk now." Just on Friday, he was a nice guy, and something happened, and now he's a jerk. I don't know. But what a lovely head of hair he has. Didn't notice that before. Didn't notice that about him. So I gotta eat better. Trying to eat better. But the thing is, I can't decide where to go, right? Because I live equidistance between a Mariano's and Aldi. And over here at the Mariano's, there's a guy and he's playing piano, and there's a bar, and there's a party going on in there. And over here at the Aldi, there's just a guy. And his job, he's a security guard, and his job is just to make sure all hell doesn't break loose when there's only 1 carton of 99-cent eggs left at the Aldi. So I have this left brain, right brain dilemma of do I want to go to Aldi and save money, or do I want to go to Mariano's and get drunk? What an interesting concept it is to mix alcohol and grocery shopping, right? Because historically speaking, people tend not to make the best decisions when alcohol is involved, right? Nobody ever says, "Oh, my friend Gary, he's normally a pretty shy and quiet dude, but you get a couple drinks in him and he's out on the streets feeding the homeless." Oh, Gary, what a nice drunk he is. Nobody ever says that. But so I go to the grocery store, I get a couple beers, and put a couple things in my cart, some giant stuffed olives, some cake, some salmon fillets, and a whole bunch of other things I'll regret having purchased when I sober up. And I get over to the line, and I realize I forgot my bags. Because in the city, you got to bring your own bags, right? Or you have to buy them. And so the register clerk is like, "Oh, how many bags do you need?" I don't know how many bags I need. When I was in college, I didn't study how many plastic bags are required for an assortment of groceries, okay? I didn't major in bagging groceries. I majored in communications, damn it. I should be the one behind the register asking the questions here. I should be. My parents are not a big fan of my communications major. No, Indian parents, not a big fan of that. But you know, it could have been worse. Because I heard recently that DePaul University is offering a Harry Potter study abroad program. This is a real thing. You go explore the wonders of Hogwarts with real life landmarks throughout the UK. And the first thing I thought when I heard this is that there is not a single Indian kid enrolled in this program. There's just no way. Rightfully, the kid would be way too terrified to tell his parents. What's he going to say? Hey, Mom and Dad, you know how you've often called me a wizard when it comes to mathematics? Well, do I have an educational opportunity for you? No. Not going to happen. I grew up in a Hindu family. Which is why I don't understand this debate over whether Jesus was white, or Jesus was black, or Jesus was brown. Jesus was blue and had 8 arms. What's so hard for him? My name is Hari Rao, which is a Hindu name. I also go by Machine Gun. I go by it. Nobody ever calls me that. When you grow up with a name like Hari, though, kids give you other nicknames, right? Like a Hari Atari, Hari Ferrari, Camel Jockey. Sorry, Hari. Camel Jockey, very racist. Also very inaccurate. I find that geography not a very strong subject within the racist community. If you're one of them, please take note. Camel Jockey refers to somebody from the Arab Peninsula, not India. Open a book. It's a very, very racist book, but still. I learned something. But I realize I have a very deceptive look. People think I'm Arab when I'm Indian. People think I'm 21 when I'm 41. People think I'm gay when I'm straight. That happens a lot. I live across the street from a gay bar, and men will flirt with me. But that's fine. Why should that bother me? I'm just as desperate and insecure, need of validation as any gay, straight, or trans person. Fellas, if you've got something nice to say about these baby browns, or this baby brown, I will take the compliments. Absolutely I will. Physically, I might be straight, but my self-esteem, very, very open-minded. Thank you. My name is Hari Rao.
Hari Rao, everybody. Give him a round of applause. And thank you for calling out those horrible Urlacher ads, because I've had many people ask me, hey, Thomas, does the carpet match the drapes? And I'm like, yeah, pure linoleum. Wow, no one got that. Okay. And thank you for giving up your membership to the gym, because I've never had one. I want an elliptical, so I use the elliptical 20 minutes a day while I watch porn. Because I like to set realistic body goals. And I also do a workout that I believe will work. Jane Fonda aerobics. Yeah, she teaches us to do the knee lifts and the grapevine and this move. I call it pay the landlord. Round of applause again for Hari Rao. Wow, everybody. We're going to bring up our next comedian. I hope I don't mispronounce his name. Abe Rabinowitz.
Yeah!
Hey, thank you guys. Keep it going for Thomas Bottoms. Wow. Mr. Bottoms. I have a name. It's Abe Rabinowitz. It's actually my stage name. I'm trying to sound more Jewish. Thinking about just going by matzo ball. We'll see. See how it goes. I did have a birthday recently. That was a lot of fun. They're going around. I had a birthday. It's interesting because I'm in my 40s now, and every decade people react differently to your birthday. Like in my 20s, people were like, "What'd you get for your birthday?" And in my 30s, everyone was like, "How was your birthday?" And in my 40s, people are like, "How are you?" Do you need a doctor reference? I went out for my birthday. I found a hair in my food, and the waiter was very nice. She was like, "I'll give you some new food," and I was like, "That'd be great. Yeah, but could I also get some more hair? That'd be cool too." All right, maybe I'm doing better than I thought. All right, let's see. I accidentally took a homeless guy grocery shopping. That was interesting. I don't know. He just said he needed cheese and bread, and I was like, "Cool, yeah, the CVS is right here." we went into CVS, and I knew things were going south when he grabbed a grocery basket, and he started grabbing perishables. I was like, oh, this dude's shopping. He's getting like parsley and ice cream and stuff. I was thinking, like, what? This guy doesn't have a house. He's got a freezer. And I was thinking, well, maybe I'm just shopping for a regular guy, you know? And then when I met him, he had a limp. I said thank you to him after he went shopping on my account, and I was like, bye. Walked away, no limp. I got Kaiser Sose, you guys. Anybody else get Kaiser Sose? It means something else entirely these days, but you know, it happens. Alright, we got some Usual Suspect fans in the house. I take the train a lot. It's a lot of fun. I saw an ad on the train. It said, has anybody ever told you stop breathing while you sleep? And I was thinking, yeah, that guy's in jail now. His name is Mike. He married my mom. Anybody else have a stepdad? Stepdad. He was an alcoholic stepdad. We called him the 12 stepdad. Yeah, mom's kind of boring. I hung out with her recently. All we did was watch Naked and Afraid, which was fun because that's how we both first met. You know, exciting. My grandma was the best. She's gone now. She died. It was normal that she died. It would have been weird if she lived after what she'd been through, a wood chipper. But you know, you gotta go somehow. No, she died on hospice. She was in a house, and for some reason we did this thing where we opened up the windows when she was passing so that her soul could leave. Anybody else do this? I don't know. We had screens. I was thinking like she probably came out like spaghetti, you know. She gets to heaven, everybody calls her spaghetti ghost. You know, because they're still racist in heaven. Nobody cares, and all the spaghetti ghosts are like, we want the name to be changed. We don't like being called spaghetti ghost. And well, they're like, what do you want to be called? And they're like, noodle floater, please, noodle floater. Man, you guys on the old Netflix? Whoa, do I watch that show? There's a Netflix 2 coming out. I've been watching this show called Ultimate Beastmasters. Anybody seen this? It's a lot of fun. It's like an obstacle course show. People got to go through this crazy thing. Different countries, and each country has their own announcer, so it's kind of cool. Each announcer is in like a booth. And there's like France, Italy, China, and it gets a little racist. Because this Chinese guy was going through, he falls into the water, and the American announcers go, "Oh no, right into the duck sauce." I was like, Jesus. Like American Ninja Warrior would never pull that, right? Like you would never see on American Ninja Warrior a Chinese person going through the obstacle course, and he falls, and the American announcers are like, "Oh no! Right into the pile of Big Pens. He's a little too much bok choy in that walk, huh?" Man, he is gonna have to yin-yang around to see if he can acupuncture her ticket to Vegas. Her position could be outsourced. This has been NBC. We'll be right back. Or will we? We might be on fire. All right. Anyway, Netflix is fun. Oh yeah, I was on the train recently, and a guy had shoes on. His laces were painted on. Those were his. They're just slippers, right? And I was thinking, like, what a jerk. You know, like he wants all the benefits of laces, doesn't want to put in the work. You know, like laces take work. Dating him has to be a nightmare, right? Like, honey, can you hold my keys? No. Can't. Well, why not? Just put them in your pocket. Those aren't pockets, those are stickers. Putting them in your jacket. That's not a jacket, that's a tattoo, babe. You know I have a jacket tattoo, honey. Okay, you know I'm writing a book called The Guy with the Jacket Tattoo. Man, holidays, huh? Everyone have a good holiday?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I had to go help my brother and his wife out because they had just had a baby and they also have a 3-year-old. So they needed a lot of help because after my sister-in-law had the baby, she got Bell's palsy, which sounds like something you get around the holidays. Anyway, so they got kind of upset because I was singing "Deck the halls with bells and palsy," you know that. Fa la 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 la. You know, 'tis the season you can't smile. You guys know this song. Fa la 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 la. When you blink, I think you're winking.
La la
La
la
la
la
la la la. Maybe we should call your brother. He doesn't have a job. That's me. Got a free plane ticket to the Bay Area.
Oh,
Silent face. No, it was a lot of fun. You know, we had dinner. I watched them have an argument about who has more black friends. I was like, geez, you guys are up all night feeding an infant and you're this woke right now? Man. And then it ended with him flicking a booger on my shirt. I didn't even know he did it. I couldn't feel it. I looked down and I was like, oh, there's a booger on your shirt. He's like, did you do that to your wife's face too? Because she couldn't feel it? Alright. Too mean, man. Too mean. I should have ended with silent face. I'll leave you guys with this. So I flew out there on Southwest, and everybody who flies Southwest, you have to wait in those boarding position areas. Nobody knows their boarding position is. So what's your boarding number? And this woman asked me kind of strangely. She goes, "What are you?" You know. So I said Jewish. That's the only way I know how to answer that question. You know you're Jewish when somebody asks you, "Are you Jewish?" and you go, and the longer that sound, the more Jewish you are. I'm curious about the Jewish stereotypes, so at a show, I had the audience yell out Jewish stereotypes, and that was a bad idea. Because this woman stood up and she goes, "They don't pay their contractors." I was like, that's a little too specific, you know? It's like, also, I said, "Ma'am, I said stereotypes, not facts." Okay, that's it for me. Thank you guys.
Abe Rabinowitz, everybody! A round of applause! And remember, not paying your contractors isn't being Jewish, it's being presidential. We're going to bring our next comedian onto the stage. Give a round of applause for Anna Rose!
Yeah!
All right, that started strong. How are we doing tonight? Hey, how we doing? You're doing good? We're feeling good? I'm feeling good. I went shopping today, but not like the fun shopping that you guys are thinking about. Like, I didn't go shopping for clothes or like a new TV or a new dildo or anything. It was like adult shopping. Like, I had a very adult day, you know? And what that means is I went to the store because I needed to buy things like I don't know, like deodorant, toilet paper, pregnancy test, soap, just like adult stuff, right? So like adulting feels so good, but ironically, I never feel younger than when I'm leaving the store and I realize that I just spent the entire $100 that I had left to my name until like next payday, right? So like between now and then, it's only Tuesday, guys. It's only Tuesday, right? I'm actually at this point where I'm so broke that I couldn't even get a movie from Redbox yesterday. I had to dig out my dusty old library card and use that instead. Like, what is the library? But I did it. So that speaks volumes. Guys, I have an addiction to Victoria's Secret. I do, because my credit card debt to this store is alarming. And to make things worse, I keep making all my payments on time, right? So they keep rewarding me by increasing my card limit. And that's like taking a recovered alcoholic out to the bar to celebrate. There's just got to be a better system that keeps feeding the addiction, right? So here it goes. Confession time. I own over 20 bras. Over 20 bras. No woman needs more than 5. Right? Because fellas, I'll tell you the Victoria's Secret. I'll tell you right now. We don't wash them every time. We don't wash them. Bras are just like jeans, right? So like we wear them until we spill enough stuff on them, and like maybe a week later we'll finally get to it, right? And like bras, they're also like beards. They're just like beards because there is food in them all the time. So like we get home at the end of the day, we take them off, and there's crumbs everywhere. It's like a weird game of piñata where we take them off, whack at these fun bags, crumbs everywhere. Love Reliant. Victoria's Secret, right? Alright. So, I am from a really small town. Anybody else with me? Who is from a small town? You're my people right here. Thank you. Yeah, so moving from a small town to a big city, right? You gotta learn a few things. There's a few differences between small town, big city, right? So, the first thing that I learned very quickly is what I like to call the golden rule, right? And what I mean is, in Chicago, it is an actual privilege to pee here. Yeah? Because in a small town, you're driving, you gotta pee, you just pull over at a gas station or McDonald's or a stranger's house and you use the bathroom. It's like not a big deal at all. It's super casual. Here in Chicago, you're walking around and you see a lot of signs at the windows that say no public restroom or restroom is for customers only. Some places, when you go and ask about a bathroom, they tell you that they don't even have one, which is total BS because no $8 an hour is worth getting a UTI, right? Like, where do you go? Where do you go, you know? I was just in a bathroom with an automatic sink, which means I spent a lot of time doing this. Right? Like, who else wastes a lot of time waving their hands under the sink? Who else has been there, right? Okay, like everybody. I see your faces. Everybody has been there before, right? So why, in the year of 2018, do we still have automatic stuff in our bathroom, right? Because, like, we've all waved our hands. We've all cursed out a soap dispenser. Don't get me started on hand dryers. We've all been there. So whatever architect or bathroom design still decided to proceed with that, to move forward with that idea. I mean, they're a monster. They're a monster because they knew what they were doing. They knew that they were going to ruin your day. It's like somebody made them mad that morning. They were like, you know what? Now you done it. You ruined it for everyone. Automatic stuff in your bathroom. Done. Deal. Where on the other hand, I don't care. I don't care how hygienic that's supposed to be. I just want to be able to go to the bathroom, wash my hands, and not miss my flight or be late for work or just look like an idiot for that matter. So those are the worst people. So what I've had to resort to doing then is just popping squats all over the city, right? 'Cause, like, what's a girl to do, you know? And so I've just been marking my territory all over the city. And for you guys, that means you could be standing in it at any given moment. If you've been on the red line, it's already happened. So just so you know, that's mine. That's mine now. Homeless people are always yelling at me. I guess I don't know how to do that. Because one time I handed a homeless woman my pizza leftovers and then she threw them at me. So I guess I just don't know how this works. I'm not doing it right. Because another time I'm walking past a homeless man and he's asking for change. I said, I'm sorry, I don't have any money on me. And he said, get a job! It's like, shouldn't I be saying that to you the other way around? I don't know. It's like the old saying, right? The old saying, beggars can't be choosers. That doesn't apply in Chicago. But one time I was walking past a homeless man and he was asking and he said, spare change. Spare change. But then I walked by and he was like, spare... You have a nice butt. So, like, what did I do? I gave him $20, right? Like, I will pay for a compliment. That's fine. I'll pay for a compliment. I don't, as a comic, I've realized that sex sells, right? And so, like, as a woman, I can talk about that. I can talk about my body. I like to use that on stage. But then I got to thinking, ooh, Anna, you are kind of like a prostitute. Except comedians don't make any money, so I'm actually worse than a prostitute. I'm just giving it away for free, right? So, anyway, when I moved to Chicago, it didn't just affect me, right? It affects everybody. I said, it affected my mom. It affected my mom probably more than it affected me, because I said, hey mom, I'm gonna move to Chicago, and what she heard was, oh my god, my daughter is gonna move to Chicago and she's gonna get murdered, right? Because that's what happens here in the city. It's like every weekend we have a marathon or a food festival and a shooting. Like that is just what goes on in the city here in Chicago every weekend. So like when I first moved here, I moved just down the street from a McDonald's, and there happened to be a shooting there one time. But this also was where I got my coffee in the morning. So when my mom found out, she bought me a coffee maker. And so, like, now I don't have to leave my apartment ever, right? That was her solution. It's perfect. And so there's, like, a silver lining to every situation. Clearly, there is. So now I'm flipping through the newspaper like, ooh, what else will my mom buy me? Fingers crossed the train sets on fire. My mom might buy me a car, guys. Ooh, too dark. That's fine. That's my time. I'm on a rose.
Anna Rose, everybody. Give her a round of applause. Thank her for releasing the truth about women and their brasiers. Because I learned that a couple years ago. It's like women only own a certain number of bras, and some women only wash them as soon as the bras gain sentience and can walk themselves to the laundry room. I never knew that. I never did. I'm one of those gays. I have like 3 months worth of panties. I can change daily. They just have like Scooby-Doo and Homer Simpson on them. Which thankfully I have a partner, so I'm no longer in the dating realm, so that no one wants to look at Stewie at Family Guy and go, oh baby, I want that. Well, there might be people, but I'm too old for Kevin Spacey. There we go. Anna Rose, everybody. Round of applause. We're going to bring up our next comedian. This gentleman I have bumped into many times on the street while we were both heading to work, but we weren't working the block. Give a round of applause for Anthony Bonazzo.
Yeah!
Keep it going for Thomas!
Yeah!
Come on, let's get the energy up, you guys. There's only like 18 more comics, so this is gonna be good. I'm just excited to be here. I think I've been doing too much comedy lately. Somebody asked me how I was doing earlier today, and I responded by going, woo! Ow! Bar mitzvah! I just started yelling out shit to yell oops at a comedy show. So, alright, this was fun so far. I think it's good that we're doing this comedy right now, all of us doing comedy. I think the world is a little negative right now. That's why I'm trying to do positive things in the new year. I just started a new anti-hate group. We have our own Facebook group. If you're interested, see me after the show. We just do nice things for people. We're just called Nicest, so see me afterwards. It's a little bit of a heady joke. You might have missed it. It's fine. I'm trying to stay off Facebook. I feel like Facebook's the only vitamin D I'm getting these days. It's really sad. I feel like Facebook's like the gym, but you go in angry and you don't work out, and then you leave angrier when you get there. Right? It's like you go in there, it's just people just talking smack all day long. Like it's terrible. I hate going on there. Like I don't know. I feel like you go in there and nothing productive comes out of it. It's just people arguing back and forth all day long, and I don't know. I don't like it. I try to stay out of it, and you can always tell like what Facebook friends of yours are unemployed by how many Facebook arguments that they get into. So you're like, okay, that's the 77th comment that Bobby's made. Bobby's definitely unemployed, right? Like that's how it's happening here. Bobby took a break from whatever he was doing at his house, but I don't know. I also feel like it's like TJ Maxx. You're just scrolling for stuff, but it's just crap everywhere, right? Sometimes I go onto Facebook with like a purpose, and then my purpose is lost, and my purpose just becomes to keep scrolling forever until I die. I just keep scrolling, and I'm like trying to get to the end of it. I'm looking for something, and I'm like, there's nothing here. Like, I don't know what I'm looking for. I feel like a junkie at a slot machine. I'm just like, I can get the cherry, and I keep scrolling, and then the next thing you know, it's 7 o'clock at night, and I haven't done anything, but I don't know. It's fun. I try to stay out of there, though. I heard about a friend was getting married, and I texted him. He's like, "You should come to my wedding." So I went to the wedding, and they did the Cha-Cha Slide song. Does everybody know this terrible song? Yeah. I can't stand this song. I don't know why. It drives me crazy whenever it comes on at a wedding. It's like usually it's like. Wait, just by round of applause. Who said they know the Cha-Cha Slide? Just almost all. Okay, so the song usually comes on, and everybody's like super excited, and it's usually like 7 white women on the dance floor, and then there's like 1 black woman in the middle, and the white women are kind of looking at like, yeah, we got this, we know this dance, but the black woman's like, no, I got this, like I'm gonna lead you guys, and it goes, it's so stupid, the lyrics are terrible, it's always like, slide to the left, slide to the right, 2 claps this time, clap, clap, clap your hands, you guys, this is terrible, so just for once, I want to like infiltrate the God mic and just yell out dance moves that are not part of the song and see if I can get people to start listening to them, just because they follow it so uniformly, like, slide to the left, slide to the right, take your pants off, and just see how many people like that, part of the song, make out with your aunt, 2 claps this time, clap, clap, yeah. I'm gonna mix it up. I'm gonna do an impression. Can you guys want to hear an impression?
Yes!
This is my impression of Ray Romano after he finishes too soon in bed. You guys ready? Yeah. You guys ready for that?
What did you do? What did you just do? Oh, come on, Deborah!
Okay, that's my Ray Romano. That's him finishing. Oh boy. Yeah, so it's fun. I don't know what's going on with the weather. I don't know what is happening with I don't know how to dress anymore. I've lived here for 12 years. I don't know how to dress when I walk out of the house. I feel like Rain Man. Like I went for a jog the other day in juicy shorts and a fur coat the other day. Like I have no clue how to dress anymore. It's definitely gonna rain. Definitely. My juicy shorts are on the highway. Like I have no clue. I love calling my mom because she acts like whenever I'm telling her about the weather in Chicago, that I'm talking about the gang violence in Chicago. So I was talking the other day, and she's like, "Anthony, how cold was it in Chicago?" I'm like, "It was negative 20 with the wind chill." And she's like, "Oh my God, you better be careful. You could die." I'm like, die? I'm like, what do you think happens here? There's like the Latin Ice Kings. They do like a drive-by icicle shooting. Like they got me. Like, what do you think? And she sounds really racist because she keeps telling me to be careful for the black ice. And there's a pause between black and ice. I'm like, you better be careful. You're going to say something really inappropriate, but... Cool, that's worked everywhere else but inside of Shakers. So stick to the good stuff. Not for these guys. This is the high-paying crowd. They came to see the good stuff. All right. No recycled jokes for you guys. I feel bad for my mom. She got an Alexa over Christmas, and she asked it to read her a Charles Dickens novel, and I ended up reading her like a really dirty pornographic novel. And she called me like I somehow had control over the iCloud. I did it. And she's like, it was terrible. They were just talking about all these disgusting things, and I'm like, what do you want me to do? Like I don't know. Like what did Alexa hear? Like Charles Dickens, like or Lickin'? Like I don't know what. Anyway, I don't know. That was a new joke, so I don't know if I should have tried that, but I figure when in Rome. I just turned 40, so I guess clap for that. I don't know, 40's old. Yeah. It's fun because things change. Like you think, like nothing's gonna change, and they do. Like you turn 40, like when you're younger and you hurt your back, you're like, what'd you do to your back? Like I was playing football. When you turn 40, someone's like, what'd you do to your back? You're like, I was watching football. Like I bent down, took the control, and I was like, ooh, damn, I threw my sciatic nerve out of my back here. So I've come up with a foolproof plan how to recover when you're 40. For every hour you stay up past midnight, you need how many days to recover? So if you stay out till 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. If you stay out till 5 or 6 a.m., you probably do cocaine, so it doesn't really matter to you anyway. You just blow a line and you go right back to work. But I'm thinking my hearing is going. The other day I thought the McDonald's commercial was saying, let me get a dick pic too. Like I literally I heard that. I'm like, that's not what they said, but I signed up for Bed Bath & Beyond mobile alerts. I'm like, what am I, 90 years old here? Like, what am I doing? I got a text at 2 a.m. that said, you up. I'm like, I just got a booty text from Bed Bath & Beyond. Like, what am I doing? And then you have to scroll through the whole text because it says, you up for 20% off. So you have to read the whole thing. I got really excited. It was the first you up text I ever got. But I shushed somebody in public, too, the other day. I was at the movies, and I was like, shh. I did like the teacher, like the like all the way up on your nose, like that doesn't make any sense. I'm like, keep it down. And the guy's like, dude, what's your problem? It's the previews. I was like, yeah, this is a preview of what's to come, so pipe down, Chachi, okay? Want to see what movies are coming in the summer of 2018 that I'm probably not going to see anyway, but I want to know what they are, okay? So back down. But he didn't back down. We ended up fighting. But Dating's been fun. You guys stop saying stupid things to you as much, but they still do them. Like older dudes will say like kind of gross stuff to you, and they're like, yeah, he's on board with it. Like talent is a term. I don't know if ladies probably don't know what this is. Guys will be like, yeah, there's a lot of talent here. A lot of talent. That's basically just their way of saying they've scoped the room for everyone they want to sleep with, and there's a lot of talent, right? And they say gross things like, she's like a 12, bro. And like, if you're gonna have a scale of 1 to 10, you have to stick within the 1 to 10 parameters. You can't go to a 12, right? Or she's a 2, but her personality makes her an 8. Like, there's this like random scale of shallowness, right? And women aren't like that much better because they're like, I just want to find a nice guy. Like, why is it so hard to find a nice guy? Like, why can't I just find a nice guy? Like, he just has to make like 6 figures, but why can't I find a nice guy? Like, why is it so hard to find a nice guy? I just can't seem to find a nice guy. Like, he just has to have a really nice car, like an Audi or a BMW or a Land Rover. Like, why can't I find a nice guy? Like, I just can't seem to find a nice guy. Like, why is it so hard? Like, he just has to be 6'5" or 7'2". Like, why can't I find? No, you're just unlovable. That's what's happening right now. So. But I was on Tinder for a while. If you don't know what that is, by now your life's going pretty good, so keep it up. Tinder, the logo for Tinder is a flame because Tinder is hell. That's why it's a flame. I want to get a tramp stamp on my lower back of all the dating apps, like the Bumblebee, the Tinder Flame, the J-Date, the start date for J-Date, all of them. And someone's like, what's your tramp stamp mean? I'm like, it means I'm a survivor. Like, I've seen some stuff. You have no idea. It's like everybody who's on dating apps, they talk like they're like Vietnam War vets. They're like, this is my 3rd tour of Tootie on Tinder. Like, back off, buddy. I got my dog tags. I stormed the beach of the bars on Lakeview on Bumble. Like, it's like, okay, back down. We're all traumatized from online dating apps. We get it. Like, we're all bitter in our own right. But the conversations are always terrible. It's always like, hi, how tall are you? And I'm like, what do I write back to that? Like, how much do you weigh? Like, I don't know what to write. A girl called me a nugget the other day. She goes, are you a nugget? You look little. I go, I don't even know what to write back to that. But so I blocked her, and then now I'm on blackpeoplemeet.com. My profile there is just Marshmallow looking for hot chocolate. These are really good jokes. You guys like them. I was in New York for the holiday, and I learned that Chicago and New York have the same homeless people. I was on the train, and the door busted open, the scary door that you're not supposed to go into. The guy came out. You know what I'm talking about? The scary door that you're like, I wouldn't go through if the train was stopped. And he goes through it while it's moving. He's like, I do not mean to alarm you. I am just here to talk. I'm like, you have already scared the hell out of everybody on the train right now. Like, by saying you don't mean to alarm us, we're all terrified, right? Like, and then I came back into Chicago, and it was on the Blue Line, and this other guy came through, and he's like, I do not mean to alarm you. I just got out of prison. I'm like, now we're really scared. Like, you're in prison, like we're scared to death. He's like, I just want money to get a 30-day CTA pass. And I'm like, you didn't even go for the day pass or the 3-day ride. You went right for the 30, And he's like, I just want to get a 30-day pass so I can get a job in social work. And a lot of people donated, a lot of people didn't. And he just got mad. He's like, it's okay to help people. It's okay to help people. Because one day someone's going to need help, and it's going to be you. And he walked through the scary door, no fear, went right through. And I'm like, where do I start? Like, 1, there's no money in social work. I've done it. 2, like, don't shame people in your marketing scams. Like, 3, Uber's always hiring. And 4, like, just sell candy bars for your basketball team. That's what I do all the time, right? Like, there's 4 methods right there. But anyway, I was in New York, and there was a homeless guy, and he was like the model homeless guy. Like, he was just standing there, planted, and he just stood there, and he just went, Merry Christmas, 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 Merry. This went on for 15 minutes. And then he went, to you, peace on earth, peace on earth. So I bought that guy a 30-day pass, because that's how you get the money, you guys. All right, give it up for Thomas. Thank you.
Anthony Bonazzo, everybody, give him a round of applause. Yes. Oh goodness, I remember being on those horrible dating apps, because it might be different in the gay world, but apparently in the gay dating apps you need to present some kind of picture to send out. A picture where someone would say, oh, is the other thumb opposable? And I'm a Z-level celebrity, so I always use someone else's picture. A dick deception, if you will, a body double. And now they now send out videos. Am I the only one who experiences this in my life? So you now see a climax to a movie you never wanted to watch, and the fact that it's under a minute long wasn't very promising? Wow. Our next comedian, he has created a tarot card deck. You can buy it. Winslow Dumaine, everybody!
Yeah!
All right, I recently came into a large sum of money, and now the cashier won't accept it. All right, we're having fun. I'll start you off easy with a joke about some crunchy dollars. Okay. No, I got a little story for you. A couple years ago, I was in a pretty abusive, pretty awful relationship, and I want you to know when I say abusive, I don't mean, oh, boo, she wouldn't let me cheat on her. What I mean is, like, we would get into an argument. She would accuse me of being defensive, and then she would threaten me with a knife. You know, abusive. You know, and I would. You know that you're in an abusive relationship when you tell your lady friends, so this is what's going on, and they say, yeah, well, it happens to women a lot too, and you just go, oh no, that's not a good sign at all. I need to get out of this. So I got out of that, and then I took all this pain and all this strife, and I put it into my art. I'm an illustrator, and I illustrated a full deck of tarot cards, and I put it on Kickstarter. I had a goal of $1,000. It finished a week ago today with $15,000. Holy crap! Like, I'm making teacher money now. Like, what happened? You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. I've never had anything like this, you know? Like, and I don't like to spend money on myself. So I decided, you know, why not? I might as well do something. So I went to the art supply store, and I got a calligraphy set, because I'm goth, so it makes sense. But it was $50, and I'm walking out of the store, and I realized I don't even know how to write in cursive. I don't know. Why'd you give your money? I'm dumb. I don't know. That's not fun. But what I'm doing now is I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do next with illustration, what I want to do next with my art, and I feel like the new pain for me has been just the sheer act of trying to be a successful artist. Like, promoting myself as an artist is so stressful that my hair is falling out now. Like, it's nuts. I've really rapidly turned into somebody. Like, every day I look more and more like a copper scavenger that's just trying to put together enough money to pay for his last chemo treatment. Like, that's where I am, you know what I mean? And like, does anybody else here feel so ugly that you walk by a nice sit-down restaurant, you look in the window and you just think, they wouldn't serve me in there, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not pretty enough to be able to sit down while I eat. Like, I'm the kind of ugly, I'm gonna have to eat standing up out of a bag for the rest of my life, like a police horse. Like, that's where I'm at. Anybody else feel that kind of self-loathing where you just, I don't know, starting to shower with your eyes closed, you know? Anybody else at the point where you just start to skip meals because you don't feel like you deserve them, you know? That kind of self-loathing? No, of course not. Because Chicago, everybody's so beautiful, you know? Y'all go to the gym to look fit, you know, to be sexy. I'm from Nebraska. I go to the gym so I can fight the pig that bit my sister, you know? And I tried Tinder. And Tinder doesn't work because there's nothing there for my body type. There's nothing that says wet scarecrow. You know? Skeleton made out of silly putty. Nothing for me at all. And I don't need to be beautiful. I don't need to be perfect. I just want to be attractive enough so that if I'm ever involved in a mass shooting, there will be a small but vocal Tumblr group dedicated to talking about how dreamy I am. Like, that's all I want, you know? People ask me, Winslow, are you emotionally ready for a relationship? Man, I'm not emotionally ready to look through progress photos of rescue pets, all right? I'm not there yet. And I get it. I get it. I get that I might not be the easiest person in the world to date, you know? I'm a little mentally ill. Like, every day, I look a little more like somebody who thinks that he's too hot for human women, you know? Find myself standing outside of an ex-girlfriend's house, just going, "Hey, I ate that scented candle you bought me! French vanilla tastes like wax." My bop it keeps telling me to sniff it. I've been mentally ill for long enough that now when I see my inner demons, I just go, "What's up? Lurking hard or hardly lurking? Get out of here." If I had a Ben & Jerry's flavor, it would just be called, "Why Doesn't Anybody Caramel?" This is gray ice cream and a bullet. That's all it is. Every day, just one step closer. Like, this is my impression of me waking up every day. Like, that's me every morning. You know what I mean? Just circling the grave. And people say the dumbest things when they find out that you're mentally ill. You know, when they find out that you have depression, that you have anxiety. I've had somebody come up to me and say, "Oh, you know, you're depressed. You know, that's an unattractive quality." Thanks. That helps. I was perfectly content living every day in bitter misery. But now that I find it might keep me from getting laid, priority number one, I guess. Thanks, Padre. I had a guy say, "You know, when I'm feeling anxious, I like to just go and get in the hot tub." Yeah? Trying to cure mental illness with warm water? Are you serious? And what is a hot tub? Really, but just a gurgling cauldron of skin-flavored LaCroix that you put your grandparents in to marinate them. I'm trying to relax, not get septic shock. Come on. Not make a new species. They say things like, "It gets better." When you say "it gets better," one, no, it won't. But when you say "it gets better," what you're saying is that my lifetime of grief, my lifetime of mental illness is just a passing fad. Don't worry about it. As if there's somebody out there just going like, "Oh, my schizophrenia been acting up lately." That's not how that works at all. "Oh, with the storm coming in, my history of abuse gonna get all stiff again." Like, that's not how that works. When you say "it gets better," it's like finding somebody who just had their legs crushed off by a runaway freight train, leaning them up against a boulder, and then just saying, "Someday you'll do some real cool tricks with a wheelchair." Like, that's not how that works. I don't care. God. And they say things like, you know, if you're feeling really dangerous, feeling like you might hurt yourself, you might want to get hospitalized. Oh, yeah. No, just. I know that you're really worried about money, and you really tried hard to get a job. But just tell your boss, "Hey, I can't come in for a couple weeks. I'm crazy. Now I'm gonna go down to the hospital where they charge me $500 a day, force feed me pills away from my friends and family in a place that I cannot leave." That's like going up to somebody who just had their heart broken and just saying, like, "Have you tried thinking about her?" Like, that just, get out of here. And I quit taking my antidepressants at the beginning of this year. I was on Effexor, and if you don't know what Effexor is a very primitive kind of antidepressant that reaches its hand into your brain and it fixes the one little thing that was broken in you. Or you'll do what I did, which was carve the last two words of your suicide note into your chest. True story. We'll talk about that later. It says, "Ha ha." It has nothing to do with Suicide Squad, which came out later. I'm not a Joker fan. I don't know. The kids are into these days. But no, after I was on Effexor, I was when you're on Effexor, you're just totally numb, and so when you go off, I've become so sensitive that I cry when I listen to rap now. You know, like, I'm so sensitive that I could just tell when the Wi-Fi goes out. So, all right, that's gonna do it for me. Thank you very much.
Winslow Dumaine, everybody, give him a round of applause.
Yeah.
We're going to go ahead and bring up our next comedian. I've worked with this man off and on for the past couple of years. Give a round of applause for Steven Springer.
Yeah.
Thomas said my name's Steven Springer, and if you're wondering if I'm Jerry Springer's son, I know we're going to Maury Povich next week. Stay tuned. Before I get started, I want to explain something. I have a condition called sleep apnea. Those of you that don't know what it is, it's you fall asleep, you wake up, you wake up while you're sleeping all the time. You fall asleep on different times and you can't stay awake. And well, that was a new one. I'm gonna. Anyways, anybody been booted? You know what the Denver boot is?
Yep.
I got booted recently, and I had to decide whether to pay $500 in tickets. I mean, $1,500 in tickets on a car worth only $500. What am I going to sell the car? My car shouldn't be called parking; it should be called littering. Give me a littering fine. Luckily, I have what it takes to get the boot off. Convict friends from my days as a correctional officer. One ex-con offered to take it off for $500. I counter-offered him keys to the car. You know, he said he didn't even know how to start a car with keys. So, to make a long story short, I counter-offered him keys to the car and lessons on how to start a car. And guess what I did when I got the boot off? Went to the front doorsteps of the DMV and returned it, thinking I get a reward or deposit back. Go back to my car, ticket. Next time I should let him tow it. As you can tell by looking at me, I get turned on a lot by the ladies. I have a lot of female friends with no benefits. You all heard of friends with benefits? I'm proposing a national dating act for people like me. The only problem is I have a pre-existing condition, and you're looking at it. Dates that I do get, I get off the internet. You know the hard part about internet dating? Cutting my prom date out of the picture. Apparently I've changed a lot since 1982. I don't get a lot of second dates, and I think I figured out why. First dates. I had a date last week with this girl. I took her out for sushi. Not bad for first date, right? In fact, you all probably heard of the restaurant. Walgreens. Using my food stamp card. You know she won't return my calls now? There must have been some bad sushi, so I went to complain to the chef. He's busy developing pictures. No second date for me. I did get a second date once, so this old lady that had Alzheimer's. Every date was the first date. We were sort of exclusive, but she couldn't remember her password on Tinder. You think being a comedian we make a lot of money? People think we're rich. No, I did a show a few weeks ago in Peoria, and the comedy club owner gave me not cash money, but tickets to a gentleman's club next door. Now, I didn't think it was a big deal because I always wanted to be in a club, and I am a gentleman. Imagine all my surprise when I saw all those naked women. I wish I'd become a gentleman sooner. I asked one of the dancers if they take orders, and boy, I got this look. And you know they hoot and holler if you try to help pick money up off the stage. I'm a gentleman, and it's a gentleman's club. I even found a dancer that took pity on me. She wanted to give me a lap dance, but look at it, she ended up giving me a chest dance. I'm sorry. Alright, y'all been great. If you like my act, I'm Steven Springer. If you don't like it, I'm Jerry Springer. He can take it. Thanks.
Yay! Steven Springer, everybody! Look at them, Paul, BJ Handlebar, Ryan Handlebars. Yes. All right, it's okay. You don't know what these are for. They're the handlebars. Steve Springer, everybody, give him a round of applause. Yes, I used to do a comedy show next to a strip club. And in the past month, actually in the past couple of years, I moved down the street from that same strip club. And in the past month, I've had over $1,500 of unexpected expenses. I am a moo-moo red lipstick and a blonde wig for making rent. Hopefully we won't come to that. I don't know. We just don't know. It's hard times now. Our next comedian, he is now a supporter. But I have to say that when our president said, "Can't we get something imported from Norway?" I was like, the pop singer Annie.
Yes.
Send Annie over. I know your girlfriend hates me. Send Annie. Songs remind me of you. And the fact that none of you know who Annie is sad. You probably know who Meghan Trainor is. And that's sadder. That's just bad. It Meghan Trainor bad music. Our next comedian, he also has a show on Q4 Radio, News What News, every Tuesdays, 4 to 6 p.m. I have been a guest. He's asked me about politics, and I'm like, I voted, and look where it got me. Darren Marshall!
Give it up for your host, Thomas Bottoms.
Yay!
Give it up for all the comedians before me, too. Great job so far, guys. I've known Thomas for a very long time. Thomas was one of the first people that actually put me on stage. And, I know some of you here, too. Zac, I know Zac. So, when I say the following, it's because these people know me. The only time you will ever see me throw paper towels at a Puerto Rican is after I say, "Okay, honey, time to clean up after sex." So, So anyway, before I actually start my set, I went to the doctor's this morning, and it was interesting. I haven't been to a doctor for about a year now, and after I talked to the doctor, he's like, "Hey, you gotta get blood taken, get your flu shot." I'm like, "Okay." So I go into the place where the phlebotomy office, and I'm sitting there in the chair, and she goes, the nurse is like, "Are you afraid of needles?" And I'm like, "A little bit, yeah." So she rolls up my sleeve and she sees the tattoo. She's got, "You got a tattoo there." It's like, "Yeah." "Well, I thought you said you were afraid of needles." So I'm like, "Yeah, tattooing needles, but those kind of needles? No, not happening." Dating. There's been everybody's been talking about dating. With Valentine's Day coming up. It has to be, I was on a train a couple years ago on a red light, and this woman was having a conversation on her cell phone, and it kind of struck me as odd. All I hear is, "Hey boo, what's up?" "Oh, yeah, are we still on for Valentine's Day?" "No?" "Okay then, well, if we're not doing anything on Valentine's Day, then I'll just give it to somebody else." Now, I heard about regifting for Christmas and birthdays, but Valentine's Day, really, people? I started dating again. And it's weird how this came about. I was with another comedian friend of mine. We were at a gift show, actually, and a friend of mine had been playing around with Siri, and I said, "Yeah, this friend of mine plays around with Siri," and I'm like, "Hey Siri, hey Siri, oh, there you go. Bring up hey Siri, can you bring up some articles about dating comedians?"
I found something on the web about dating comedians. Check it out.
Number 4 is an article by CNN, CNN.com, and it says, basically the headline is, "Dating comedians. Don't do it!" So it's kind of tough, but so I did the dating apps. I tried this one app, and I'm still doing it because I find it intriguing. It's a popular app in the gay community, and for the past 2-3 weeks now, 4 times a day. Swear this is real. 4 times a day, within succession, I'll get messages from guys, and they're like, "Hey, handsome, you want to see more pictures of me? Click here." Wait a minute. More pictures of you? You don't even have a profile picture. That's 1. 2, you don't even have your profile filled out. And 3, and here's the kicker, they tell you where they're from. They're all from Russia. And I'm saying, what does Trump have against the gay community? I don't get it. And then there's another site that I've gone on, and people have been sent, actually it's weird, this is even weirder. I go on this trying to meet people to date and things like that, and instead I'm getting, can you help me? I have a question. I'm like, okay. People don't seem to be responding to my profile. I'm like, well, have you tried this? Oh, thank you. Then somebody else the next day is like, hi. I said, hi, how you doing? And he's like, I'm doing awful. I just had an awful day at work. And I said, well, tell me about it. Really? Yeah, tell me about it. So he's talking to me. I'm like, this is what you do. And I explained to him how to handle the situation. I've become the Dear Abby of Grindr. It's sad. It's really sad. And even my mom, but my mom would have been proud of me. My mom passed away a couple years ago, but even my mom would have been proud of me. My mom was even though she was a strict Methodist, she would suddenly turn into a different religion when it came to guys. It was like, she called me up. Hi, honey, how you doing? Oh, I'm fine, Mom. How are you? Oh, I'm fine. So have you met anybody yet? Anybody nice? Anybody cute? And I'm like, Mom? And she's like, what? What's wrong? I'm just asking how you doing and if you've met any good guys. And I'm like, oh, God, Mom. So that's how this kind of got started. Eventually it ended up in this situation. I'm at my brother's wedding after the wedding, sitting in a hotel lobby. My mom tugs at my shirt. She says, honey, see that guy over there? And she's pointing to this guy who's about maybe 5'5". That's not just his height, it's his width. Long stringy black hair, long stringy, disgusting looking mustache. I'm like, yes, Mom. You like him, don't you? I was like, ugh, Mom. So then, right after, she pulled my shirt again. I'm like, yes, Mom. She's like, I'm sorry, honey. She's like, I forgot you like them darker. So just to end here, I had my first date on Saturday. In 5 years, I had a first date. And he decided that for our first date, it would be 9 o'clock in the morning, playing volleyball. Yes! No. Volleyball. So I got on my sweats and I got on my shirt, and we're out there playing volleyball. It started kind of slow, but eventually we got into a groove, and by the last game, we actually lost the game by 3 points out of a 25-point game. And I was making some great saves and all that. But a couple things happened. First of all, I got hit with a ball straight in the face, and my friend, I was like, ow, my nose! And then, as any good game would go, I went, I'll never find a date for a prom now. And, don't get the Brady Bunch reference, thank you. But then my greatest moment was I dove for a save, and I actually put a hole in my sweats, and I skinned my knee. I was brave, but it also taught me one thing: not to worry when people say, "You're a gay man. Do you wear knee pads to your first date?" So I'm going to start wearing knee pads on my first dates now. Anyway, I skinned my knee. Anyway, that's it for my time.
Darren Marshall, give him a round of applause. A braver man than me, because you said 2 words attached to a Saturday date. Volleyball, 9 a.m. Neither of those would work for me. Let's give a round of applause for Jason. He's giving us our drinks tonight. There's the $3 domestic bottles, $4 well drinks, and $4 Jägermeister and Fireball shots. I am not opposed to accepting drinks from strangers. I need to specify that. After 10 years in stand-up comedy, I'm tired of relying on talent, and I'm ready for the casting couch. I had a casting couch moment about 8 years ago. It was for a vocal audition. That wasn't a microphone, but it was a 30-second audition. And no, I didn't get the part I wanted, Darren. We're going to bring up our next comedian. Give a round of applause for Mike All.
Yeah!
Keep going for Thomas right there. Let you guys know a little bit about myself. My name is Mike All. I'm married to a psychologist because apparently I like losing arguments. I haven't won an argument in like 20 years now. It's great. She's always reading books, teaching herself more, learning more, and she's always giving those books to me, you know, like to learn how to fight. We're always learning how to fight. It always changes, you know, you have arguments different ways. When she hands me the books, remember when you went to like college and you got the books from the bookstore and it was all highlighted, had the side notes and stuff in it? That's how she hands me the books. They're like, you need to read these. But I'm always like 3 books behind, right? So we get in an argument one day, we start arguing, and I start using what I just learned, and she's like, you schmuck, we're like 4 books past that. You gotta catch up on your reading. I don't know, man. We're my wife and I are actually looking to buy a house, but our budget is like gut rehab type budget houses, and I don't know if I love her that much. I think I'm more of a $200 a month HOA love right now. This is where I'm at. We're actually looking to buy a house because we need a bigger place because we have kids. We actually have 4 kids. Yeah, an 8-year-old, a 6-year-old, and 3-year-old twins.
Whoa.
Yeah, all girls.
Oh.
That is the correct response there. Yeah, 4 girls, man. Having 4 girls means a couple of things. First of all, it means I own a double-barrel shotgun. It also means I have 4 weddings and 4 universities to pay for. I don't know how much money you think a dude doing 8 minutes at Shakers on a Tuesday night makes. But it ain't a lot. Trying to hedge our bets a little bit, so we've dropped one of the little ones like 3 times. It's alright, we're not going for like full-on stupid or anything. She's still getting into the University of Illinois. I don't know. My kids don't have a chance to get into college getting raised by me anyway. The other night, my daughter's working on her spelling for the spelling bee coming up. She said, Daddy, how do you spell gone? What's that? How does that start? And I'm like, oh, it starts like G as in gnome. I don't know, man. I like having 4 girls, but I've noticed I'm weepy all the time now. I don't know. I have a vision board. I am 40 years old and I have a vision board. And I'm just kind of weepy from all the estrogen in the house. Everything's just me and the dog, Carl, curled up on the bed every night. We're going to make it, man. Gonna make it. My oldest just had a holiday dance. That was interesting. 8 years old. Came home with a boyfriend. Came home with a little picture and everything. Now my wife's looking at it. She's like, oh, look how sweet. She's got a boyfriend. She starts crying a little bit. I started looking at it. I started to tear up a little bit. My wife's like, oh, that's so sweet. I'm like, yeah. I just realized I will beat up an 8-year-old. I now hate anyone named Logan.
Oh, God.
That's like the worst name. Sorry for that. It's a horrible name. Oh, man. Trying to teach my my girls the finer things in life, like music. They're not going to get to experience music the same way that I did. You know, it's crazy. They're never going to get to experience, a mixtape. Remember the mixtape? It's a little messed up, put the pin cap in it, wind it up.
Oh, yeah.
Make a little mixtape for your girl, you hand it to her. A couple months later, you break up and they rip it and tear it all up. And then there were CDs. Remember CDs? Those were awesome. Woo! Yeah. Dating a girl, give her a nice little mixed CD. There's a breakup. She's sets it on fire and scratches it. Guess what I'm trying to say is I had a lot of crappy relationships and lost a lot of good music in the 90s. What are you going to do now? Give them an iPod? I need that back. Sending my girls to camp over the holiday break, which was kind of cool. I always thought, when my parents sent me to camp, it was like a good old time, they're partying all the time, cocktail parties, having a great time, right? We sent our girls off to camp. It was all cleaning and don't touch me. No, I'm enjoying my quiet. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to do anything. Plus, we have 4. That's enough. We don't need any more. I did just turn 40, which is kind of cool. With it being a big birthday, my wife told me I had a couple of options, for a big gift. I could either get season tickets to the Cubs or an Apple Watch. So I went the obvious choice and got the vasectomy. And I got an Apple Watch as a thank you for my wife for the vasectomy. What else did I want to talk about? Just talk about my kids forever, which it gets old. I told her I just sent them to camp. I got to go to camp growing up, which was awesome. My camp was amazing. I don't know if you guys got to go to summer camp or anything, but growing up, my mom is an allergy nurse. And so to pick up extra cash, she would go and be a school, the camp nurse at these summer camps, which was great because she always went to Camp Breathe Easy. It's like kids who have asthma, right? They got everything you need for, someone who always feels like they're dying when they walk upstairs, right? It's amazing. But I don't have asthma. My trophy room to this day is still filled with blue ribbons from that camp. I won everything. I still hold records there. 100-yard dash, swimming, being able to walk to the mess hall without having to stop and take a breath. All my records. Still all mine. What else did I want to talk about? I guess they're doing another women's march coming up on the State of the Union on January 20th. They're going to do another women's march. It's in front of my husband. They're like, hey, you going to take your girls and go to the women's march? And I'm like, no. I have a parade in my house all the time. Why would I want to go to that? Although mine's usually 4 kids on a karaoke machine with the reverb turned all the way up singing, let it go, let it go. It's awesome. Now that I have kids, I watch the nightly news a lot just to try and keep up on things like, what's all the bad stuff that's going on, what I need to protect my kids from and stuff. I learned the other day watching the news, I didn't know this, women make 30% less than men. I think that is ridiculous. They should make equal pay. But I'm saving a ton in allowance, so kind hard for me to get on board with that too much. I saw this thing where they recalled 10,000 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle chairs because little straps that hang off the side can wrap around a kid's neck and kill them. They're ninjas, isn't that what they're supposed to do? And they recalled 10 million beanbag chairs. You guys remember beanbag chairs, like the most comfortable stoner chair ever invented? These things are awesome, right? They recalled 10 million of these things because 4 kids, kind of 1, 3, 4. 4 kids actually stuck their head inside and suffocated. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but we should leave this stuff out on the market to kill the dumb ones off while they're young. All right, guys. My name's Mike.
Yes! Mike Hall, everybody. Give him a round of applause.
Yeah.
Wow. I feel scary for your future daughter's prospects, because, yeah, I guess if I had a daughter, I'd name her Jennifer after She-Hulk or Jessica after Spider-Woman, but we have a whole slew of boys named Logan after Wolverine. I know it's not funny, it's just true. Soon we'll have, like, Congressman Logan Bookowitz. It's just gonna happen. It's a future. We're gonna bring our next comedian up to the stage. I haven't seen her in a while. I'm excited she's here. Give her a round of applause for Sarah Manning.
Yay!
Alright, enough of the jokes. I wanted to get serious with you for a moment. I just wanted to say that I am sick and tired of listening to all this anti-Me Too stuff that's out there. Alright? Bono and the boys haven't had a decent song since Mysterious Ways. Bullshit. I actually do like you too. My first song, you guys ever had like our song with your significant other? My first our song was actually a U2 song. Still haven't found what I'm looking for. So, they do hold a special place in my heart. I've been dating. I had a rough week last week because I got ghosted. I got ghosted. I didn't like it, but it's okay because I got back at him, and in my own special way, I ghosted him. He's dead. I had my annual doctor checkup recently, and my doctor asked if there's any possibility of me being pregnant. I said no, and she said loser. I'd like a second opinion on that. But it's okay, it's cool, because all criticism is constructive. If anyone tells you you're not good enough, that constructively tells you that that person is a bitch. Alright, it's all good. Guys, Christmas was a few weeks ago, and I've been thinking about, I've been grappling with my faith lately, and I was thinking about the whole story of Jesus, and I was thinking about the wise men, you know, the story of the wise men. And now, no matter what denomination you are, do you ever wonder if the whole story of Jesus Christ was due to Mary and Joseph bluffing the wise men? Just think about it. Mary was a peasant. Joseph was a carpenter. They had a baby in a shack. And they weren't even too sure about the baby's daddy, all right? So, like, let's be honest about that. And then they had three kings show up at their door with what would today be worth about $20,000 worth of precious commodities. Okay? Now put yourself in their position. If you had a king knocking on that stable like, yoo-hoo, cows, goats humping. Oh, hey, you guys. Is this the Son of God who we've come from afar to offer what will be $20,000 US worth of precious commodities? Put yourself in their shoes. And don't tell me you wouldn't shit your pants. And say, yep, yeah, we'll take that. We'll get that off your hands for you. Well, we're good. We're cool. You guys need anything? Cow's milk? No? Okay. We'll see you at the next crucifixion or something. Take it easy. And then Jesus got a little bit older, and Mary's sending him off to school. And she's like, oh, go on, have a good first day, honey. Don't forget to eat all your veggies. Oh, and by the way, if anyone asks, you're the Son of God. And if anything good happens, say you did it. Okay, Mom, but won't that get me in trouble eventually? Oh, don't be silly, honey. What's the worst they can do to you? Have a great day. Too soon? All right. Guys, I took a lift here. I'm a little times are lean. Money financially for me, so I got dropped off here and realized my credit card bounced when they tried to charge my Lyft ride, and my Lyft driver said I can't leave without paying. And she was a recently divorced mother who said that she loves comedy and always wanted to do it. So I said, well, how about you just close out my set for me? And you can headline my set, and it could be my way of paying for this Lyft ride. And she was on board. So you guys, give it up for her. Give her a nice round of applause. This is her first time doing comedy. Give it up for Patty Welsh, everyone. I'll go get her. She's waiting out back there. Oh shit! Here's my day. Okay, here we go. All right, here I am, guys. Oh man, I'm still on the clock right now, believe it or not. But all right, I decided over my morning box of wine that I was going to try comedy tonight. So it was very serendipitous that I ran into Sarah tonight. I'm really happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me. All right, bottoms of the barrel, here we go. I get kicked out of places a lot, so we'll see how long we last here. Because quite frankly, I'm just too fun. I always try and be the hip mom in town, the last place I got kicked out of was actually my neighbor's 4-year-old birthday party. They had a slip and slide for the kiddos, right? And, I always like to be the fun mom who makes the kiddos laugh, so I thought it'd be real funny to go down it naked. After all, there were a lot of dilfs there, and my husband was on a tote. So, long story short, I'm not allowed within 2 miles of there anymore. I got kicked out of my kids' junior high dance. I was chaperoning this dance, right? And, a lot of the parents chaperone these dances to keep an eye on the kiddos, make sure they're not getting into trouble. But I just go to get down. I just go to have a good time. And I see these two 14-year-olds, bumping and grinding like they do. And I stepped between them and I said, hey, that is not how you dance. This is how you dance. And then I started twerking on the fundraising table. Left in handcuffs. I did raise a lot of money, and so when you see St. Clair's Middle School with new soccer jerseys next year, you don't know why. I got kicked out of my sister-in-law's wake. Yeah, to brighten the mood, I thought it'd be real fun to get everyone to do the mannequin challenge. Unfortunately, my sister-in-law was the only one cool enough to participate, so... lost some family ties, but got some dope YouTube footage, am I right? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, good stuff. Aside from slinging my hot, flaming hot, spicy Dorito hot bits, I do have some other talents, which include cooking. I do make a mean cabbage casserole, and by mean, I mean it contains arsenic, which is actually what killed my sister-in-law. She won't be telling me my Adidas Sambas are out of style anymore.
That's actually why I'm here, kind of hiding out. The autopsy results came back. Turns out it was me. So, I've got to skedaddle pretty soon, but before I go, you guys seem like good people, so I just want to leave you on this. If anyone ever messes with you, or your kids, or tells you your Adidas Sambas are no longer in fashion, just let me know you want to double the casserole. Give me a little wink. But aside from that, I'm just trying to be the best mom I can. Thanks so much, guys. Take it easy.
Sarah Manning and her left driver, everybody.
Yeah.
Give them a round of applause. Yes. Oh, well, we're going to bring up our headliner, but before we get started, I want to give a round of applause to Mikey Chip, who's been recording and filming this show, and hopefully will end up somewhere in our lives. I never know. We've talked a little bit about medical procedures. I had to actually go see a doctor last year, because while we always joke that gay men have a menstrual cycle, that shouldn't be literal.
No.
Oh, yes, honey. It's there was a couple Carrie moments in Plug It Up. No wonder I don't go sidetrack. And so I had to go consensually commit to my first adult video, the Deep Inside Thomas's Bottom.
Oh, no.
And when the doctor came back to me, it was, I don't think it was inconclusive. He told me to stop having anal sex. I asked my boyfriend about that. He said, let's go for a second opinion. Sadly, that's true. I don't know where to go with this. We're going to bring up our next comedian. I've seen him around town. I want to borrow his eyeliner. Give a round of applause for Trevor Gertonson!
Yeah!
All right, guys. I'm glad the holidays are over, like at least the big family ones. But I was thinking they were kind of fun because during the holidays you start to, I think a lot of people start to remember, like, oh, it's time to reach out and tell people that you care about them. You know, like on Thanksgiving, I decided to text my dad. I said, hey, Dad, happy Thanksgiving. He did not respond. That's good. So I said again on Christmas, I give him another shot. I said, hey, Dad, Merry Christmas. And he sent back a message that said, who is this? I said, your son, and he has not responded. So, happy holidays at my house. Oh, guys, I am wearing makeup. I've been wearing it since I was 14. It's not really a big deal, and this will be great for all you on the radio listening. But I find it entertaining that the only people that ever confuse me for being gay are straight guys. Like, straight guys will see the makeup and they go, oh, he's wearing eyeliner. He's definitely homosexual. Then gay guys will see it and go, look how poorly that guy applies makeup. He's definitely not gay. I didn't shave today, which is always a good day for me. I hate to shave because every time I shave, I cut myself. And it always makes me really self-conscious because I just know when I'm in public, people are like, that's what sad people do when they want to feel something. It's alright. I love when people get really excited about quotes. Because I find, like, whenever someone's really excited about a quote, they're about to misquote whatever that person said. I heard this girl, she said, it's just like Eleanor Roosevelt said, women should be put in dangerous situations. Yeah, I don't think she said that. I think she said anything like that. I think Ted Bundy may have said that. Not Miss Roosevelt. I think now, like, especially with Netflix, everything, there's all this stuff on serial killers out there, so people are kind of getting interested, but now people are like, oh, they're all worried that the person next to them is going to be a serial killer on the street or something like that. But I did read this thing that said if you're trying to figure out if someone is a serial killer or not, all serial killers have a common trait with one another. Serial killers tend to all be people that are substance abusers. Yeah, substance abusers. And I was like, I'm not so sure that that's a common trait among serial killers. I think murder is a common trait against serial killers. Substance abuse, I think, is a common trait amongst musicians. That would be a fair assessment. I always wanted to be a musician. I wanted to be a rock star when I was a little kid because when I was in first grade, my favorite band was Guns N' Roses. I'm sure a lot of you are thinking, Trevor, are Axe Rosen / good role models for a first grader? No, they are not. But they were mine. So I told my mom I wanted to get a guitar, and she said, I'll tell you what, Trevor, you can get a guitar when you can show dedication to an instrument through school. Right? So all they had at my school was band, so I ended up playing the baritone. Yeah, and the baritone is a terrible thing to do to a child who wants to be a rock star. Mostly because there are no good baritone players to look up to, right? Like, I don't remember the Rolling Stones canceling their 76 tour because their baritone player went to rehab. If you see a baritone player getting arrested, it's because he's urinating outside a BMW. That's the life of a baritone player. I actually had a guy come up to me after I did that joke. He's like, yeah, I was a baritone player too, man. It was terrible. All the girls at our school loved the tuba player. Where is your school, Narnia? Like, I don't know what happened to people when the tuba player became Ryan Gosling for them. Like, that's amazing. Yeah, it's great, guys. I'm here because I did the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Said I want to know what it's like to be a comedian for a day. I should have been more specific. This is great. So yeah, I used to get picked on a lot in school. May not surprise anyone here tonight. But it was crazy. I used to get beat up so much that at one point they had to bring me to the principal's office, and they sat me down in there. And the principal said, the reason we brought you in here is because we're worried about you because people keep beating you up because they think you're gay. And we know this because they're doing it in front of the faculty. So that was a red flag. And I said, yeah, they're not beating me up because I'm gay. They're beating me up because they think I'm gay. And he said, that's a relief. I thought we had a hate crime on our hands. Turns out we have boys will be boys crime, and that is completely fine here at our establishment. I hope someday a person calls this school an establishment. We try and teach kids here at this establishment, erected in 1933. Yeah, so I did suffer from depression as a kid, and when I was 15 years old, I got put in a hospital. And when I got there, they're like, Trevor, we have to take your shoelaces from you because we care about you, and we don't want you to hurt yourself. And we also have to take your belt because we care about you, and we don't want you to hurt yourself. But the good news is you came in on Friday night, and Friday night here is movie night, and we're going to watch Edward Scissorhands. It's a weird thing, like, the kids are all crying. What should we do? Show them Schindler's List. Get the laughs going. It was weird when you meet people. Like, it was my first time meeting any of these people, and like there was like we care about you, Trevor. We care about you. And I'm not used to hearing the words "we care about you." Like, Trevor, you're late. Yeah, I'm used to that. We care about you. It's very alarming for me. And I think there's a lot of bad advice out there. One of them specifically that I found is that people, a lot of times if you're in a long-term relationship, people always say, they'll say you gotta spice up your sex life, you want to make sure you keep that sex life spicy, you gotta do something crazy. So a girl I was dating, we decided we'd try something different. We decided we would try a sex swing. Yeah, by your reaction you can go, oh, well, that would go. We went to the store to get one, and we saw how expensive they are, and we're like, I'll tell you what, let's go with a door swing. Right, let's take it down a little bit. Now, if anyone here hasn't had sex with a door swing, this is how you do it. First, you put all this bondage gear on the other person. Then you pick them up and you put them on the door. Then you stare at each other awkwardly for a moment. You take them off the door, and then you have awkward sex in the bed. That's how you have door swing sex. So I'll leave you guys with this. A couple months ago, my grandma died. And it was sad, but she was older, so, that's how it goes. And so we decided I went back to Minnesota to go to her funeral, because that's where I'm from. And when I got there, they were showing a photo slideshow of all these pictures from over, the course of her life. And it was really great. And of course, they had a lot of pictures from family reunions and things like that. But the one thing is that I'm 6'5", and when I was a teenager, I was a goth kid. I had long black hair, and I was hung in front of my face. So all these pictures they were showing just had these bright-colored, smiling people in the front, and then the girl from The Ring standing behind them. was trying to be weird to anyone who didn't know. He's like, yeah, of course she's dead. The Grim Reaper's been tracking her for like 20 years. Jesus. All right, thank you guys.
Round of applause for Trevor Gertonson.
Yeah.
This has been Bottoms of the Barrel on Q4 Radio, AM 1680, Q4.org. We have been filming all night at Shakers. Give a round of applause for Shakers. 3160 North Clark. We had great performance tonight with Bob Rock, Zajac, Harry Rao, Abe Rabinowitz, Anna Rose, Anthony Bonazzo, Winslow Dumaine, Steven Springer, Darren Marshall, just keep applauding. Mike All, Sarah Manning, Trevor Gertonson. I've been your host, Thomas Bottoms. We've had Mikey Chip handling the programming, and have a great night. Thank you.